host, Mslonda. Sip and Talk Podcast. Sip and Talk Podcast. Sip and Talk Podcast. Starting soon.
All right, hello everyone. We're back again, and today we are going to be talking about Keyvon Watkins. He's the young man, 16-year-old, who choked his sister to death. He was fighting with his mother over a Wi-Fi password. So Keyvon changed the Wi-Fi password because whenever he wanted to get on the internet, everybody else was on it, and he wanted to get on to play his game. Once the mom found out what he had did, she went into his room and took his game. He started fighting with the mom. The older sister, who was 19 years old, jumped in and tried to stop him from fighting the mom, and he choked her to death. So how did you feel about that once you read it? Boom.
I felt his pain, but not as far as he went.
His pain?
Yeah, I felt his pain.
Wi-Fi password? Are you serious?
Yeah, I felt his pain.
What bills do we pay?
Huh?
What bills do we pay? Hello, Miss Belinda.
No, big facts. You know what I'm saying though? Like, I think what it is you gotta be like and I'm not smiling at the situation on how it ended. I'm just looking at the anger of what provoked the anger. So you gotta be like a real gamer to understand his pain. Now, to understand why he went that far, I can't go there because I ain't never got that mad. But as far as like everybody accessing the internet, and it especially depends on what game he playing, because when you lagging, I mean, you done had that. We done had that situation where we be trying to do our show, and one of us are lagging or delayed or can't keep up. You know what I'm saying? That gets very frustrating. So you probably understand his pain as well, because if I'm trying to get on the show, and I'm sitting here talking to people, but y'all can't hear me or y'all can't see me because my computer freezing up, that might frustrate me if I'm trying to make my show go. You know what I'm saying? So it's got something to do with the internet. So with him, I can see why he got mad, but I definitely don't see why he got mad enough to put his hands on his sister or put his hands on his mama. Like, I don't think that anybody should get that mad. He's 16, but I don't think anybody should get that mad. But I do know when you playing these games, and like, for instance, there's a game called Madden or 2K, and when you playing these games, you playing against other people. You know what I'm saying? So it might be something that you want to do, but the game ain't registering you trying to do it because it's lagging, and it might be lagging because you got 4-5 people connected to the internet, and so it's basically slowing down the internet to where you can't play your game. Now, coincide what you said. He don't pay no bills, so he should be happy that he could just get on the internet anyways. But for the most part, I understand why he could be mad as far as not being able to play the game that he would like to play the way he would like to play it. But to freaking sit here and put your hands on your sister and then turn around and put your hands on your mama, that's just a big no. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just not right. And now you done took the life of somebody, so now your mother got to lose 2 children, not just, you know what I'm saying, not just one, because you done took a life, like, you know what I'm saying, all over a video game. So the situation definitely to me is unnecessary. But you know, we done had these conversations before where we all speak on it has to start at home. Somewhere along the line, he felt like he somewhere along the line he was able to get that mad all the time. I got 5 kids, and you know, my oldest son got an Xbox, my daughter got an Xbox, both of them got phones, all of them got phones, so they all be connected to the internet or whatever. But I'm sure they know not to get that mad about no internet, because I'll take the internet and change the passcode myself and won't nobody know it. My oldest son 15, my oldest daughter is 13. You know what I'm saying? I take the internet, they start cleaning the house or something, trying to get it back. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely think it might start at home, as far as the anger
I agree
comes.
with Miss Belinda, because I'm thinking I don't understand him, period. I'm not giving him that at all, because you don't get mad about shit in my house. Like, you know what I'm saying? What bills are you paying? How about let's talk about, was your chores done? Did you have
Right.
chores to do? Was your homework done? Let's talk about that. Did the grass need to be mowed? You 16. So, you know, sitting around playing a game all day, I don't give a damn about you being mad. You're not paying nothing in here. If anybody should be mad, it should be me. When I want to get on it and can't get on it because you sitting on there playing that stupid ass game.
That's
That's
a
how
big
I feel
fact.
about that. I mean,
That's a big fact as far as the ideology. I would think that way as well. Like I 100% agree with you as far as that. Like, you know me, I always try and pick it to why it probably happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like saying that I agree with him again. It's just that like you said, like I probably can't. I pay the bill. I probably can't get on because y'all on. You know what I'm saying? So it's messing with me. So that again, that goes off into the fact of how much freedom did this guy actually have in order
yeah,
to feel like that, because some parents don't get that deep into it as far as did you do this, did you do that. Like
yeah,
I done seen it to where they let their kids run free. They've been letting them
true.
run free their whole life. And
Yeah.
so
But it did say in the article that because when it said that her and the 13-year-old son was trying to get him off of the daughter, once the police got there, uh, you know, she that's when they said let her go and she fell to the floor. But it mentioned in the article that the mom didn't take it serious when she, because they fought before.
right.
So basically, it said in the article that they fought, all the time. So this is something that's been going on and being allowed, I guess. I'm not gonna take no ass whooping from nothing I pushed out or got cut open for. I'm sorry, I just ain't gonna be able to do it.
What they say, I bring you in, I take you out, right?
Hell yeah.
Like, listen, man, I'm definitely not finna get my ass with my kids. I'm gonna figure out a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? My son's like way big or whatever, but I know you. Like, I know what gets to you. So you know what I'm saying? I know his weaknesses. Maybe somebody else don't, but I definitely ain't about to let it happen, like you said. But for sure, um, it had to be freedom. Like, it had to be a lot of freedom for him to feel
Yeah,
like
it had
this.
to be
You
too
know what I'm
much
saying?
freedom for him to even jump up. Cause she came and got on you for changing the password and took your game, and you just jump up and you want to whoop on her. That's too much going on. That's too much.
And a lot of times people don't even know how to actually change the Wi-Fi password. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times people don't even know the steps that it takes to change the password. It's not just you have to go to a website. You have to enter in some codes that's on the actual modem.
Because
You
with
know,
Xfinity, all I have to do is pull it up on my phone and just, change it right then and there. I don't have to go to a
okay.
website or anything.
Well, with mine's, you have to actually it's like a little link, and
Oh, okay.
you have to click on the
Yeah.
link, like the
And
IP
see,
address or something like that. You have to enter the
yeah,
IP address and go to the actual place, and
our
then
IEP addresses is on the back of the internet box. So you could get all of that off the
mhm.
internet box. So once you
Right.
enter
So
it,
once you
you
get the
good.
IP address, you got to enter the administrator and the admin password
Yeah.
to actually get into the site. Then you got to change it. So it's like it just depends. And then even then, like nowadays, they giving what she say?
It's called cut that shit off. I will be the only one on it.
Hey, I'll be getting there sometimes. Like especially if the shit ain't done that I don't like, I cut everything off. And with these new TVs. Everything Roku this, Roku that. They could just have all these apps. So I just cut the whole internet off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can go basic TV, you know what I'm saying, to get the free TV on my end, like, you know what I'm saying, because
Hey,
y'all do
watch
what I
Little House on the Prairie like I used to.
and man,
Three
it was these
songs
people.
or so.
It was like 2 years ago, man. No, maybe 3 years ago. Before we moved into this house, we've been living in this house for 2 years. So 3 years ago, it was this house that we stayed in for 3 years, and it was these people next door to us, and they had 4 kids, and they still had a DVD player. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they still went to the libraries. They like 11, 12 years old. They probably about 15 now themselves, but they still went to the libraries, like, and they had one TV. So I used to like use that on my kids. I still kind of do. Like, man, like this shit ain't no necessity. Like, what's the necessity
Right,
is, you know what I'm
right.
saying? Me feeding you.
I still got my DVD and my little bootleg movies. They packed up in a box. Now my DVD player is on my little entertainment center. I dust it off from time to time, but I'm like, I'm not ready to get rid of it because I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. We might, you know what I'm saying? They might take the internet TV away. Who knows?
That's a
So
big fact. That's a big fact. I have not. I don't have a DVD player laying around. I probably couldn't even find a DVD. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I probably couldn't even find a DVD because I be watching free TV. I'm smoking, so that's why I turn my camera off. But I probably yeah, I probably couldn't even find a DVD. My son might have somewhere around here, but I'll probably be asked out, man, on the DVD side. VCR, I definitely ain't got one of them. But like I said, this shit don't be a necessity. A lot of times kids be thinking like shit just be obligated, like you supposed
Yeah,
to. You know what I'm
but you
saying?
know where that comes from?
Where that come from?
From what I've said before when we've been in these discussions. And anybody listening and watching, I'm not saying nothing about what you buy your kids. I'm not saying you wrong. I just feel that a lot of times it should be earned and not just given, because when you're giving them and making them feel like they have to wear name brand this, they can't wear nothing from Walmart or whatever. That's where that comes from. Then they feel this obligation. They feel they're entitled.
Well, I'm gonna be the executioner and say, hell yeah, y'all wrong. I'm going on the opposite side and say y'all motherfuckers wrong. I don't give a fuck because at the end of the day, man, it's one thing for a kid to be running around talking about they hungry. That's your job. I don't give a damn if they didn't got suspended from school.
Right.
Maybe they didn't cuss you out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they didn't. Whatever the hell they done done. At the end of the day, you did bring them into this world, so you are obligated to feed and clothe them. Now, that don't mean that you have to feed them steaks. That don't mean that you have to put Nike on their back or put Fubu on their whatever the hell the new fashion is on their back. They can go straight to the Goodwill and get some clothes. I don't give a damn if you got $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing stopping you from going to that Goodwill and buying them a shirt and some pants. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not obligated. Now, some people, I don't care. My child ain't wearing that. And this child got straight F's. This child done fought the
Right.
teacher. And you still sitting here talking about what you gonna put your child in. Like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with a person doing that because that still affects the rest of us. Like, that still affects them when they go to school because now they feel this obligation when they go to school. Like, you know what I'm saying? If my mama gonna do it, y'all really can't say nothing to me. Y'all can't say nothing. And now my child got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Or I got to deal with the resentment from my child because there's a child at school that get everything and don't do shit. And I'm telling you, you got to do something to get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't agree with it personally. I think that these kids today feel obligated to shit that ain't theirs. And these shits is not a necessity. Internet is not a necessity, especially not for no child. Maybe for an adult, with the way the times is moving today, when we got to fill out applications or send emails or things like that, it may definitely be a necessity to us as an adult. But for a child that doesn't have to pay no bills, it's definitely not a necessity. I told my kids before, like, shit, y'all go to the police and tell them ain't no internet in here and see what they tell y'all. Go to some type of authority. You know what I'm saying? Now, if y'all go to the authority and tell them ain't no food in here, or y'all don't have no clothes to wear, y'all got a case. You know what I'm saying? But go to them and tell them ain't no cable in here. Go to them and tell them ain't no Xbox in here. Go to them and tell them ain't no internet in here, no TV, and see what type of reaction you get. Because who cares? That shit is not a necessity, man. That's my personal feelings, man. These kids is they definitely feel like this shit is an obligation for them, man. They supposed to have internet. They have to have internet. They should have internet. They should have Netflix. Like, what?
They
If we
should.
missed back in the day, we didn't get to watch it no more. We had to wait till the beginning.
We had to turn the TV off and be in the bed at a certain. You had to have your bath and everything done by a certain time. Be in bed, TV off. Like we didn't have freedom like that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's like right. They do. They act privileged. It's like they we had the 106 in Park days where we went the rest to see 106 in Park and get to see 106 in Park. Now I know that 106 Park probably don't even come on no more, but even so, if I wanted to watch a show that I missed back in the day, I could pull it up on YouTube. Like, you know what I'm saying? Easily. I can go pull up all the shows on. But back then, if we missed that show, we missed that show. So,
Yeah,
nigga, we definitely wanted to have our dishes done or our chores done or whatever it was that we needed to do. You know what I'm saying? We definitely wanted to be right because if we missed that show and everybody was talking about it the next day, we did not get to see that shit. We did not get to see who was number one. Like now, you can put a child on punishment for 3 weeks and they still gonna be able to go back and watch Stranger Things. Like, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Just because it just came out a few weeks ago or a few months ago or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They still can go back and watch it. So it's like they do feel obligated to these shits, but it's like shit. I tell my kids quick, like, bro, y'all definitely are unappreciative and y'all are ungrateful because I don't want to compare my life to yours or tell you that I did this or you should have to do it. But at the same time, I want you to understand that it wasn't that easy for me, man. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that easy for people like me that came up. We didn't have that option, period. Ms. Belinda says, what? I have no control of the electricity upstairs, downstairs, except the lights. The control was in my bed.
lights off.
Man, listen. They definitely act too privileged, Miss Nikki. And it's like, man, we definitely just didn't have that privilege. Like, you know what I'm saying? We was thankful to be able to even have cable to watch
Yeah,
106, like watch
yeah.
TV. Man, talking about be able to watch it on call.
Or how about you having being the only one that got a TV in your room and you got to share with your brothers? Like,
Man,
you
come
know what
on.
I'm saying? Like these kids don't understand. But I
Come
think
on.
them days need to come back. You know, I think not so much as having to share a TV, but just how the rules was for kids growing up back then. I just think some of that needs to come back. Some of that old school needs to come back.
Man, definitely that old school 1980s respect, man. That shit needs to come back for sure because again, people just don't understand the effects that it has on their own children. Like, you
Thank
know what I'm
you.
saying? Um, if my kids gets what they want because they feel obligated, and I feel obligated to get it from because I didn't have, and then they come around Mslonda's kids and they this, that, and the other. That can bring problems into your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't allow it, like, you know what, I'm not gonna deal with it. I ain't gonna hear y'all. At the end of the day, them kids still gonna be feeling like, damn, that's fucked up. How come boomers kids get to act like this and we don't? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like at this point, once my kids start cussing around your kids and teaching them new cuss words and shit because they don't get in trouble for it at home. Now your kids know it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it has to come back. Like somehow, some way. Like it has to come back. All these kids want to do is shoot. These don't even fight no more. Like you know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
you know what I was watching the other day? I don't know if you read this book or watched the movie in English in school, but The Outsiders.
I heard of it.
So yeah, it was a bunch of you know, white boys back, I think I want to say 80s, maybe late 70s, where they would all get together, meet up at a park and just brawl. I'm like, you can never see these motherfuckers doing that these days. First thing they gonna do is grab a gun.
Man,
They are
listen,
not finna box and just be like, okay, you take some, you lose some. They're not finna do that.
and that's
Thank
scary.
you.
And that's scary because not only are they gonna grab the gun, but they don't even know how to shoot. So they'll fuck around and miss the person they trying to shoot and shoot somebody they ain't had nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Like
they
kids,
never get their intended target.
man, come
Never.
on, man. And it's like kids don't even. We done already took the kids from outside because of these situations. We like fuck. We'd rather them be in the house playing a game than be outside and all this other rah rah bullshit because anything can happen. But then it's like, damn, we are now we gotta take this part of your life from you, and not only do we take that part of your life from you, just trying to keep you safe. Now we gotta take the internet and the electricity from you because you're disrespectful. So now the kid just going through everything like, what the fuck? I can't do nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like somewhere along the line, man, we gotta figure it out. That's why I was speaking to you the other day when I think we was talking about gun control. We was talking about it on one of these shows, and I stated that I felt like the bullet should be like 500, $5,000 a bullet, like because
Mm-hmm.
then you would necessarily first off it would be hard to come across unless you really got money like that to spend 5,000 on one bullet. Secondly, you would have to really think like, shit, is this person worth this $500 bullet? Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to really stop and think about shooting somebody. You know what I'm saying? Is it really necessary? We probably will only kill people if they come up in our house. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. But as far as people just running around with bullets on hand like that, I don't think that it would be like that because it would cost too much to just let off 10 rounds for no reason. You know what I'm saying? You talk
Yeah.
about letting off $10,000 worth of bullets on 10 rounds, like you know what I'm saying? Like I think people would stop and actually think about that. Like so I don't
And
know, man. These
you know,
kids.
she lost two children because she lost her daughter, who her daughter lost her life, and now her son has been sentenced to life in prison. But then I also too wonder about the 13-year-old son. By him being around and seeing the 16-year-old, fighting his mom, is he gonna, or has he already started eventually, doing that? Welcome, Mama G.
Hello, I'm in the car with my wonderful, beautiful grandchildren. We just finished coming from camp and getting a snack. So I'll be listening, and as soon as I get home, I'll be able to participate and listen. But right
Okay.
now, I'm just going to be listening to you.
Okay.
Thank God for technology.
See, we do got see it works out for us because we can still be a part of things, but at the same time, the kids have to also be on that same level of thank God for technology. Like, dang, dude, I remember having to beg for my friends to come over to play the game. You know what I'm saying? To now, it's like shit. We as long as you got the same system and we got internet, we can just play together at our own houses. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm thanking God for technology because when I did smoke, I don't smoke weed no more. But when I was smoking weed, like shit, I didn't even have to share the weed. Like you know what I'm saying? I could smoke by myself, like and still play with the homies. Like you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to pass the blunt. I could just so it's like it's definitely a good thing, but it's not a necessity, man. I think kids definitely need to understand that some of these things that they have, they should be more appreciative of it, man. Because they act like it's just theirs, like it's just supposed to be. Like I'm supposed
Yeah.
to have this. I'm
But
supposed
that's
to
because
like
it's
come
not
on.
earned, it's just given to. If you just giving and giving and giving and not telling them that this is something that you don't have to have, really all I have to do is provide you with a roof over your head, food in your stomach, and clothes on your back. All the other stuff is extra. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do big Christmases and Easter baskets and all that. I don't have to do that. If
And
they
I give you
know
a
that,
cake
if
for your
people were taught
birthday.
that, then I think they would learn, know better.
And listen, I had to tell myself that I can't take my kids' birthdays away from them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have to get them their birthdays. It don't have to be no big crazy party. It don't have to be 17 million presents, but you know, you can get a cake and a happy birthday song, you know what I'm saying? At least, regardless of what you've done. Like you're still here. Let's be thankful that you're still here. You made it another year. Like, but that's about it. Like, man, as far as all these holidays and stuff, and you're supposed to have whatever outfit for whatever situation and all this for this day and that day, man. It's definitely crazy. It's definitely crazy.
Oh,
They feel out.
well,
Okay.
I cried over the death in that family. I was really disheartened about that. I knew something was missing. There was no communication, no no sense of love towards each other, no patience, no self control. The fruit of the spirit is self control, meekness, humbleness, and above all, love. And in that family, in the dynamics, you can see that they don't have self control.
Yeah.
Yeah, the parents definitely need to be humble as well. Like if you got humble parents, then maybe the kids will be humble as well. Like once the kids see what the parents are on, like I'm thankful for being able to even pay my internet bill. I'm thankful to even be able to buy my kids a game for them to play on. I mean, I don't know how the kid got the system, whatever it is, the Xbox that he was playing. Sometimes they do kick doors and they go rob people for their stuff and get it like that. But for the most part, I'm thinking parents are buying these things, and so the kids needs to be thankful to even have a parent that will take their hard-earned money and spend it on the system. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
One
said,
of my
like,
things,
today, if my kid, because I bought games and stuff too when my kids was growing up, but the cost that these games is now, I'm like, I don't know. They might be disappointed if they were still young right now, because I ain't finna pay no $500 for no system. I ain't gonna be able to do that one. That motherfucker be in layaway for some months. I'm
secondhand stores is great. Secondhand store is great for those kind of consoles. Because I bought one for my son that had gotten used, had played it and was bored with it, and said, "If you give me $100, you can have it." And so now my son has a Wii game that I don't have to spend $300 to $400.
yeah,
So
try.
there are ways those games, and if you want to use game, but it still works, you can buy it like that. But I always taught my children that wasn't important. Your soul and your personality and your belief in God, that was the most important. Because God will supply everything you need in your life. But see, in that family dynamic, one of my friends, I was emailing some of my followers. I'm frozen.
Say that again. I think she's frozen. So the comment says it's really not okay killing his sister over a Wi-Fi password. No, it wasn't okay for him to jump up and put his hands on his mama either over the
and like
Wi-Fi
you
password.
and like you said, like what about the 13-year-old brother? Not only has the mother lost two kids, but then what about the brother? What his thoughts going to be on the situation? Do he act the same way? Do he learn from it? Like man, how is he feeling? Um, it's definitely a traumatic. It will have to definitely be a traumatic experience for everyone in the situation. I mean, even the
Yeah,
dude that killed his sister, like I read where the judge said, and like you said earlier, like by the time the police got there, he was still, what I'm saying, choking her, and she was already dead. Obviously, by the time the police got there, and it's like, well, they giving him life, but it's like we understand that you're sorry about the situation, but you was that mad that you didn't stop. Like the
I
yeah.
whole
mean,
Even when the mom and the brother was trying to get him off of her, he obviously had a tight grip on her neck to the point.
But it has to be like where what like I said again, what freedom do you have to feel like you could just do that? Like I'm not the woman beater type anyways. I don't friend people who beat on their women, and it's just like what would make you feel that courageous to even harm your sister like that? Like you said earlier, maybe they was fighting so much that it wasn't just a password for him. Maybe it was a buildup for him, which is again not me trying to justify the situation, but maybe it went beyond the password. Maybe that was kind of like the last straw for him. But again, even if that was like, what gives you that thought to where you could harm your sister? Now she's grown, if I'm not understanding right. She's
He
like
was
21.
19, but
She's
when I
like,
was saying that they fought before, I was saying him and the mom has fought, in the past. But build up or no build up, it's just not no excuse for you even just putting your hands on your mom. even to the point where you felt you had to take your sister. He probably wasn't trying to take her life, but still, you just come on now.
I think I'm
You
finna lose some.
doing too much.
I think I'm finna lose some love from what I'm about to say. Um, I think I'm finna lose some real love from what I'm about to say. Um, I have told my kids before that you guys are not a necessity to my life. I have told my kids that I do not need them. Um, I explained to them that I didn't wake up in the morning saying I need to make sure that you guys are good. I needed y'all in my life to buy y'all shoes. I needed y'all so I could be forced to, or not, excuse me, not forced, but so I can have to buy a home to make sure that y'all have this, that, and the other, and to make sure that y'all eat. I don't need to do that. That is something that I am obligated to do as a parent by birthing y'all. But as far as me needing it, like, oh my God, I gotta have kids so I can buy y'all shoes, so I can make sure y'all got, like, I don't need that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not what I need as a person. What I have to do is make sure that y'all have shoes and clothes and eat and all that. But that's not something that I personally need. Like, without that, I couldn't walk. You know what I'm saying? Without that, I couldn't live. You know what I'm saying? So I've told them that, like, explain that to them. Like, I don't need y'all. You know, y'all need parents. Y'all need somebody to take care of y'all. Y'all are not physically able to go out and buy your own toilet paper, buy your own soap, buy your own food, pay your own bills. Y'all need us to do that. I don't need y'all to do that. And so I explained that to them. And so these kids now, they feel, again, we just go back to the whole thing. It's like almost repetitive. It's like they feel obligated, like they supposed to have it. Like, no, y'all not. Like, I don't have to give y'all internet, man. I don't have to give y'all nothing but necessities. And that's because that is a responsibility. Nobody wakes up to say they need to buy, they need to buy children shoes. Sometimes people want to work on their relationship and work on, we gonna have this baby, and they've been practicing safe sex all the way up until they felt like they was ready to have a child, and that's what they wanted to bring into this world, and they decided to do it. And sometimes people just bring kids into this world because they was having fun, and the baby came out of it. But at the end of the day, that's the only time a person really feels the need to take care of a child is when they planning. You know what I'm saying? If a child is planned, and this is what we actually came up with in our minds to do, then boom, that's when we're going to know that we need to make sure that we got enough money to pay these shoes. We need to make sure that we got enough money to keep them indoors. But other than that, like, don't sit here and act like a parent needs the child, because we don't. Like, at the end of the day, I could go buy 4 rolls of toilet paper, but you forcing me to buy 10. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, don't make it seem like I need to buy 10 when I could be better off buying 4. You know, like, don't do that. Like, don't do that. I don't have to have 10 people on my internet when it could just be me. You know, so don't make it seem like I need you to be happy to have internet. I don't. All I need you to do is be able to eat, sleep, and be clothed.
Eat, sleep, and shit.
Hey, it's shitting that, and it's shitting at that point is only because I don't want that shit in your room smelling up the goddamn house. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't need you to shit because you're gonna force me to buy more toilet paper, force me to buy more soap so you can wash your shitty ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then I gotta buy more soap powder to make sure that your dirty ass clothes clean. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can use less soap powder. I can use less soap. I can use less square foot in the goddamn house. I don't have to have this many rooms with just me. I only got 17 rooms because I got 17 kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? So don't make it seem like I need 17 rooms, because without y'all, I will only need 1 room. Come on, man. So we have to definitely put these kids in a humble and grateful situation. That is my point, man. Sometimes these parents, they give these children too much leeway, and they befriend them. They
Yeah, that too.
nowadays, These people, these parents, they want to friend their kids. They want to make their kids their friends. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Do not make your child your friend. Your child is your child. I don't give a damn if they 31. That's your goddamn child. Maybe y'all can go have a drink together. Maybe y'all can go out on the vacation together. But at the end of the day, that is still your child, not your friend. And that child should understand at 31 not to come crazy, talk crazy to their mama or dad. Like, period. I don't give a damn about what you can go buy now that you're grown. You're still my mama, and I know what you had to go through. You're still my dad. I know what you had to go through to keep me alive, to even be able to take care of myself once I get older. So I don't think these kids. I mean, it's like, damn, what you think? What you think you're gonna be 31 and still asking your mama to pay the internet bill? Nigga, eventually you gonna have to pay your own. So you said it's not obligation. Obligation, like, come on, man. Come on, man.
I've had discussions on Clubhouse with people. Like, this one guy literally said he feels that when a child turns 18, it's wrong for a parent to put them out. Now, I can kind of agree with him to a certain extent, because when they turn 18, they're really not actually really grown. You know what I'm saying? But for him to say he felt like he should have been able to stay at home till he was fucking 40, nigga, fuck trying to get a place. Now your ass need to be in a home some damn where, because you obviously, if it's gonna take you that long to figure things out, something wrong. You about 6 cans short of a 12 pack if you need that much time.
And Miss
Come
Belinda,
on now,
please,
that's a little bit too much. 40.
Miss Belinda, please elaborate on no boom. And you're right. At 40, come on, man. Listen, I do feel like a child shouldn't be like my children. I tell them now, like, I don't want you guys to feel like once y'all become 18, it's time for y'all to go. I don't. But you guys have to be doing something. Once you turn 18, okay, now it's time for you to pay an internet bill. Now it's time for you to pay a water bill. Now it's time because you're going to have a job. But that's cool, because then whatever money that you get out of your check and you only got to pay one bill, that should be cool. You have a responsibility that you'll take care of. But I need my children to be doing something once they become grown in order to continue staying with me. And it doesn't mean that they have to pay a bill at all. It could mean that you're going to school. Okay, well, I don't got time for you trying to figure out how to pay this bill, pay that bill, and go to school. You can stay here. As my job as a parent is to continue making your life great, regardless if you're grown or a child. My job as a parent is to continue making your life great. So if you're trying to get through school and it's going to take you another 8 years after you 18, you might not get out of my house until you are 26, 27. That's cool. But that's because you're going to school to better yourself, to better your life. So I will give you that. I will give you the time that you need to continue bettering your life as your parent. And that's cool with me. I have no problem with it. But what I'm not going to do is let you just run in and out of my house doing nothing with yourself. I'm not going to let that happen. Period. I can't let that happen at all. I mean, hey, I don't know how people feel about that, but I can't let that happen. Like, if you're not doing nothing with yourself, you got to go. You got to go. You're not about to be coming in here pregnant every other year. With different, all my grandkids talk about I'm your parent, I'm supposed to do this, that, and the other for you. No, hell no. You better get out here and figure it out. But if you out here trying to get your life together and all that, I got your back to the fullest. And no, I won't charge you no rent. I won't have you pay no bills. If you got to pay school bills, that's your bill that you got to pay. You got to take care of this, that, and the other. I will have your back as long as you're doing something beneficial to benefit your life. I will help you as much as I can. So I don't agree with putting our children out at 18. Hell no. But I will put your ass out at 18 if you've been selling dope since you was 15. The fuck? I will put you out there. You want to be, listen, I ain't got nothing wrong with those strippers. If you want to strip, that's cool. I'm not going to stop you from stripping. I don't want you to strip, but I'm not going to stop you from stripping. But you want to go sign up for a strip work, and that's what you think will make your life better at 18, and you got to go. But you want to go to school, or you got a business that you got coming up out the ground, you know what I'm saying? You building your business up, and you living in my house, and I'm going to help you build that business up. Here go a fucking closet for you to put your business supplies in, not to mention you still got your bedroom, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely depends on what you're trying to do when you turn 18 to if I'm going to continue helping you. for sure, for sure.
Right. Agreed. Well, let's talk about how the grandparents aren't even really allowed to even discipline their grandchildren these days. You know,
You know what? These new grandparents, they damn near as young as the kids. You ask me. I'm about to smoke again. I've been drinking, so I'm about to smoke again. I hope I don't go crazy. But I've been drinking, so I'm finna smoke again. But no, these new grandparents, shit, they trying to go on the Jamaica trips too. Shit. So shit, it's hard for them to be, you know what I'm saying? They act in the same way as the mothers or the fathers. And it's almost like they be flirting the children too until they get mad at them. We need that grandma who ain't gonna play with nobody. You know what I'm saying? You get that grandma that we know. And you gotta go to Mslonda's house. Mslonda ain't having that shit. You know what I'm saying? Grandpa Boom ain't having that shit. You know what I'm saying? Then there ain't really gonna be too much that anybody say about the children being disciplined. But if you get that Grandpa Boom, that want to go kick it with all the nephews and grandkids and shit, you get that Grandma Londa that want to be turned up with the rest of the grandkids, and all of a sudden she want to be grandma today. I think that might be hard. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion, though. What about you? How you feel about it? I really love your conversation. You both.
uh, I don't turn up with my grandkids. I mean, like taking them to the park, swimming or some shit like that. But turning up, nah.
No, you ain't turning up with them. I feel that, right? You're gonna get that. You're gonna get checked. But that you know, these new generation of parents, man, we have been put in a situation of, do we let our children be raised like us? We feel like we shouldn't have got our ass whipped, so we not gonna whip our kids' ass. Like I don't, I don't. I don't do it often because my son, he is definitely very respectful, so I don't have to put my hands on him. Being older, he always been respectful. He always done what I've asked him to do. And then my girls, I have a lot of, you know, I have a lot of work to do with them. Even as they getting older, I still have a lot of work. But it's hard for me to whoop my girls because they are females, and I just have never been the type of man to put my hands on a woman. So it's definitely gonna be hard for me to put my hands on my daughters or even whooping them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I done got to the point where I might pop them a couple times with the belt, but that's like, when I say a couple, I mean literally like one, two. And that shit probably ain't gonna do nothing. And that shit probably comes across every 3, 4 months when I done got tired of it. And I hit them maybe 2 or 3 times, and I be done been mad at myself, like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll be like, I can't hit my daughters. Like, I love my daughters. Like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? I can't even... So it's hard as a male, but these new generation of females, they more like, don't look at my motherfucking child, nigga. I don't give a fuck. You know, and you know it's
Yeah,
hard for the man in the house, so you know it's like, don't look at my son, don't look at my daughter, don't say shit to my child, to where, because they don't want the same thing to happen to them. Possibly, I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I feel you later, but I really would see, that would be my thing. Like, I would want the mother to handle the daughters and I handle the boys, but I would need the enforcement, and that's why it needs to be two parents in the household, because on both sides, the man needs to be able to enforce what the mother is saying, and the mother
I'm
needs to be able to
home.
enforce what the father is saying. Hello, Mama G. They both need to be able
I'm
to
back.
enforce both situations. So if your mama said, there should be no reason to why you should be able to come to me and be like, "Oh, Dad, can I get?" Well, what did your mama say? Did you do what your mama told you to do? And
right.
vice versa. You see what I'm saying? Because before I give you that option, or before I feel like I got all this power over my child, I still need to let my child know that the other parent has some type of power. And a lot of times, the parents don't do that. Like the parents don't do that. They already beefing amongst each other, so they trying to win over the child. And it's like, shit, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. My child gonna do this because I went through this, and I ain't letting my child go through that, and vice versa. And then it's like, shit, you got one strict parent and one nice parent, and now you got the parents beefing where the kids are confused, and whoever gets the child or the child runs to this person, that's what they gonna go with because they can get away with this, that, the other with this parent. So
My children.
parents definitely got to come on the same page in order for the kids to understand what the hell is going on. I'm living proof of that.
So we would like to hear your insight in on this situation, Mama G.
Okay, what was my favorite Mr. D was talking about?
You mean Boom?
No, Boom. What was Boom's talking about? I just turned on and said, "Hello, my darling."
Hi, my love.
Oh, shut up! He's making me feel good today. Look at that. You shouldn't have done that.
I love you.
I might have to dream about you for a minute.
Ooh.
I'm dark as hell. I'm proud. I bet you can see the red coming up on me now. Don't do that.
Okay, now look. Now, I had a conversation with my daughter about her children, and she was like, "Mom, you can't." She was telling me certain things that I should not do, and I said, "What's good for the goose is good for the gander." Now, I will explain why I'm going to say no. But if I say no, I'm going to say no. Uh-oh, who said this lady is a riot? Is that?
Yeah.
I don't know if they talking about you or if they talking about what I was speaking on. So we ain't going.
I talking about her when she was saying, "I'm gonna have to dream about you."
For a minute. Hey, we human. Anyway, I told my daughter nicely and politely that I don't know how to handle. See, her children are quite different. They express themselves quite differently. One is very sensitive, but you don't throw a tantrum on me. Well, first of all, before they got here, me and Papa had to have a discussion. We're not going to argue in front of them. What I say goes, and what you say goes. And he said okay, but then our granddaughter is wrapped. She has him 20 times wrapped about every finger in the hand. Papa, Papa, I was like, oh no, here we go. And I told him, I said, we're not doing this. We're not going around the corner like this. And she's gorgeous and smart. But when she goes to that Papa stage, that's it. I'm like, we're not having this. But you have to have an understanding what the rules are in this house. And their mother, I said, you need to explain to them, I'm not the great grandma. I'm not Patricia Livingston. I'm not you. My name is Karen. And this is how I rule this house. Now, I will give you everything that I can to make you have a wonderful stay. But if you don't like my work, I will give those 7 digits a call. I will call those 7 digits, and your mom can come get you.
Amen.
Because I don't have that in my house. I won't even tolerate it. I have a 27-year-old. My youngest is 27. He said, he says, oh, I know she's not going to have it. I'm 27. She ain't going to have it from me. So, hey.
So what is your take on this young man taking his sister's life and jumping on his mom over the Wi-Fi password?
Oh, I think that's horrible. You have to get them at the table. And the word tells you. Look at Proverbs, look at Ecclesiastics. It tells you, come here, princess, they want to see you.
Come over here, princess, since you're over here being nosy. Come here, princess. The Miss Kari Diane wants to see what I'm doing. Come here.
All I said was hi.
Come on, princess.
All I said was hi.
Come on, princess. Well, you came over into the room. Come here and say hello and go back. All you have to do is this wave.
Hello.
Hello, did you see her?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Bye-bye. Now stay on that side of the house, please. Stay on that side of the house, please. See, we have to have the last story, as you can see. But anyway, the word is important. My son who passed away told me the most important thing you did for us was taught us about God. If you don't have God in that household, somebody is going to have a bad situation. It's just that simple. I know it's, oh yeah, she's pretty. Hello. Oh, who is this? Oh my God. Who said that? Is that about my granddaughter?
I'm assuming.
Most
Oh,
likely.
okay. Miss Mslonda, do I
Yes.
see something gold in your nose?
No. Bold.
Go.
No,
She looking at your
something
nose
in your
ring.
nose. You have jewelry
Oh yeah,
in your nose?
I have a scepter.
Okay, we'll talk about that at another day. But anyway,
Now I'm 50 now.
okay, and you 50 and foolish.
Okay, well I'll be foolish, but this is what I like.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. You think you can put me in my place now? I got news for you, sister, girlfriend. I
We
love
both grown, so we ain't got to put neither one of us in office. As long as I respect you, you know what I'm saying? This is what I do. Hey.
you. Okay.
Like I say, we can't be judgy.
I'm not judging. I just think you look prettier without it. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, you get the word. That's all I can say. Proverbs tells you have to teach them. In Deuteronomy chapter 6, it says you teach them day and night. You don't have to beat them, but let them read about wisdom. Let them read about how to have common sense. You don't have to say you got to read it. Let's read it together and discuss each verse. That's what I did with my kids. This is what happens when you don't obey God. You have consequences. It's horrible. Well, how come the mother didn't get, like I stated this on my page about the tragedy, and somebody said, why didn't she get a frying pan and knock that fool upside his head?
Yeah, you know, I didn't want to sound bad saying it, but because saying that her and the 13-year-old son was trying to get him off of her, I felt like what I mean, I would have got my son off my daughter. If I couldn't get grab you off of her, something would have went upside your head. It definitely would have.
I
You
mean,
in
we
the
have
head
to
on the floor
attack
when the
her.
police got there.
In that situation, you would have saved 2 lives. Now he would have went to jail, but now he's going to jail for life.
Yeah.
See, I would love, if I had details, I would have loved to get into what was going through her mind. Was she afraid of her son? Was her son huge and he didn't? I have a disability, but you're not going to run over me.
He the picture that I saw, he's not a big guy. He wasn't a big guy.
So this is hard to comprehend. You are the mother of these people. Apparently, the disrespect of authority has been passed on from one generation to another generation. I think that was a generational process, as I would call it, because somewhere she didn't know how to teach respect because she didn't know she probably didn't respect anybody. So the mother passed on the disrespect. See, you have to have a lifestyle for your children to respect you. You cannot. Excuse me, people. I'm on a podcast. You will not be yelling. You will be in the room or have a lower voice. I do not want to hear you while I'm on my podcast. Thank you very much. Is that understood? I don't hear anything. I don't hear a yes. I don't want to hear. I comprehend. Answer me, please. You got it? Okay, thank you. You understand that? How do you like that, Mr. Boone?
I like that.
And I didn't have to use a curse word, but they understood it.
Amen.
Where did my girl go?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. How did you like that, man?
I loved it.
Huh?
I loved it. I loved how you talk to him.
I ain't hear no talk back.
I hear nobody respond.
Oh, no, the oldest one, Eddie did. Eddie turned around and said, oh, they got it. I'm like, okay. Okay. And I didn't have to use a curse word. I just said, excuse me. So, everybody has to learn respect. And it's the lifestyle that the mother has. If they see you praying and they see you acting like you have some sense, then they know they're going to act accordingly. In your house, at least. And
That's
you have
true.
to tell them, you have to tell them mentally that God is watching you. And if you think I'm bad, you want something, and then you can't have it because God is watching how you acting. That was called biblical background. And now my baby is in here in the room. What can I do for you, sir? Oh, okay. Thank you so much. You're talking a wonderful lower tone. This is the baby. He's looking at me. Okay. Okay, thank you. I love you too. Don't eat any of my fries. You didn't give me any of your food when you ordered your food. I don't have.
You're on mute.
So he is trying to scream self-defense. Well, he was trying to scream self-defense. He was saying that she he kept her in the chokehold because he thought that she would get up and continue fighting him once
Press,
he
press
let
this.
her go.
Oh, thank you.
We hear you. We hear you. Okay, what was you saying, Boom?
Go ahead,
Basically,
Boom. I'm sorry.
basically, he just felt like he claiming that he was trying to claim self-defense, saying that he felt like she would, once he let her go, she would get up and try and continue fighting him and that's why he kept her in the chokehold. But
No, no, I don't
that's
believe that.
yeah, no, I'm not even saying it's true. I'm just giving you the information that he was stating. And my thing about it is when you put somebody in a chokehold, it is definitely it's definitely hard to get that person to release. Because once you know what I'm saying, once you get somebody locked in, it's like you really got to do something to that person to get them to release. It's almost like when a pit bull bites somebody, like the things that you have to go through to get that dog to release his lock on a person is it's crazy what you have to do to even get that dog to get his jaws to release from a person. So it's like at what point do you realize? And they said that he had to have her possibly in this chokehold for more than 15 minutes. At
Yeah.
what point do you realize that you have literally choked this person out? After about 3 minutes of no oxygen, you know what I'm saying, the person definitely starts to lose consciousness. So by the time we at 8 minutes, we can go into the whole, knee on the neck thing with the police officer. After about, 8 minutes, this person is gone. And we talking about 15 minutes. You had to been literally trying to kill this person. And I can't give this guy no sympathy. You know what I'm saying? I can, like I said, I understand where he maybe got mad with the mom and they was going back and forth about the Wi-Fi password. But as far as you and your sister getting into it and having to fight each other, I only could think that had to have something to do with the past. This had to have something to do with the fact that you guys have been getting into it and you've been wanting this. And so when I go into my situation and my personal situation of these things, I try and always teach my kids that y'all got each other. Like something happens to me and your mother, y'all got each other. Y'all have to have each other's back. There is no way that y'all could be looking at each other and feeling like you would have to physically harm one another over any situation like this. I mean, maybe like me, I'm not like again, I said this earlier, I'm not gonna put my hands on a woman, but I would definitely slam a female if she coming at me with some type of bat frying pan or something like that. I will take her to the 12 and put her on her back quick. And I haven't had to do that, but if it came down to that, that's probably as far as I would go with it. When I was younger and I used to get into it with my girlfriends, and this doesn't make it right. Don't get it twisted. This do not make what I did right. I'm not saying that. But if I got into it with one of my girlfriends, I'm going outside and I'm beating up a crackhead. Doesn't mean that it's right. But I used to go outside and fight crackheads when I got mad at my girlfriend. But if I got into it with one of my homeboys, then we are fighting. But I'm not about to put my hands on no female, let alone my sister. I went to jail maybe for about a week. Me and my sister had an argument. Well, me and my mom actually. I said this story kind of similar. It's not. It wasn't to do with no no internet, but it was like something I can't even remember. It was so long ago, but something happened. Me and my mom was arguing. My sister wasn't feeling it. She got to talking shit, and we was all crazy living in my sister's house at the time. And we was arguing. Me and my mom was going back and forth, which is something I shouldn't have did. I repent for this stuff daily. Do not get it twisted, man. But me and my mom was arguing, and my sister happened to jump in. And so I guess the neighbors, because we was living on like AMHA housing in my sister's house, and I guess the neighbors heard me yelling, la la la. So they had already called the police. So by the time the police had got there, and this is how long ago it was, by the time the police had got there, I had decided, and I hadn't even seen the police, but I had decided that I was going to take a VCR tape and throw it at my sister. And that's what I did. I grabbed the tape and I threw it at her. And the police, by the time I threw it at her, the police was already at the door looking through the screen door. So they seen me throw the tape at my sister. And so, of course, they arrested me for, domestic violence, which my sister dropped the charges or whatever, which, again, this was a long time ago. But when I went in front of the courts, because the courts decided that since my sister dropped the charges, they was going to take up the charges. So when I went in front of the judge told me, like, man, you get into another domestic violence with a woman, and you're going to go to prison for automatic 6 months to a year. Automatic. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So definitely, and I hadn't had no kids at that time either. So, that definitely was one thing that had stopped me from even being disrespectful to women, knowing that I could go to jail for this long. But that was about the most I had ever done, like as far as putting my hands on my sister, or I never even thought about putting my hands on my mom. But I teach my kids, like, you guys are all y'all got. Whatever was going on between this boy and his sister.
See, you're making it like it was some personal rivalry, and she jumped in helping her mom.
Correct.
And that I agree, man, saying I can't give him that. He had no right to put his hands on his mom, period. The sister had every right to jump in. Who's gonna sit there and watch their mom? No, and he didn't even have a right to be mad. I don't give a damn about you playing no game, nigga. You not paying no bills. So he don't get that much from me. Period. Like, you jumping up,
and that's why,
something you probably ain't even paying for.
And that's why I'm comparing. And that's why I'm comparing my situation, because whatever the situation was, like I said, I don't remember it, but at the time, I for sure wasn't paying shit. It wasn't my house. Whatever I was mad for probably had nothing to do with them, or I had no right to even be mad about that situation, to even grab a tape in my sister's house, where I should have been thankful to even be able to be in my sister's house, to even be able to have somewhere to sleep. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's where the situation is fucked up at on his side, because he had that same that same option to be mad, where he shouldn't have had that.
I'm looking at your situation as brothers and sisters, sisters, they fight. They get into it about the dumbest shit. But his attitude is how I'm looking at it is his attitude is can't nobody say nothing to him. That's how.
And that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I was in that position. I felt
how old was he? How old was he?
He was 16. He was 16.
16?
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I was in that position. See, listen, me and my sister, we had different fathers. My sister is smaller. Even though she's older than me, she's smaller. She got a little less weight than me, and she's smaller. My mother, she a little bit heavy set, but for sure she's not as big as me. My dad is a fucking giant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though he wasn't in my life, he's a giant. So, of course, I came out a giant as well. So, I used to walk around like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm beating up niggas in the street, my mom and my sister ain't going to do shit to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had that mentality. But the only thing that I felt like was different between me and him was that there was never a time in my life where I felt like I would have choked my sister out. I don't give a damn how mad we got each other or whatever, man. I might have punched a couple holes in the wall, slammed a couple doors, broke a couple dishes, but I would never, ever in life think or come across my mentality that I'm going to choke my sister out. I would never.
I want to read you the scripture I was talking about. I love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul and strength. These commandments I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, when you get up. Tie them as a symbol on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on your door frames of your houses, on your gates. See, we have to remind, that's what I'm saying. We have to have him in our lives. If we could do that, we wouldn't have all these problems. No, and see, it's the mother's responsibility. Especially if there's not the father in the household. Then she has to pray and take on that role of putting God in their lives. Like my husband, he worked all the time. He go in and he come in, pay the bills, and go into his room. It wasn't, but he was a Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. Every time the kids were in the church program, he was there. And he didn't interrupt me because I came from the background of going to church. As they say, I was drugged. You know how you say you on drugs? I was on the church drug. I was drugged to Sunday school, BET, night service. I was drugged to church. So I did that to my children. And now my grandchildren, they're being drugged to church. They're being drugged to Vacation Bible School when they come down here. So it's a traditional family thing that you have to have some kind of found relationship with God to have a life today. If you don't, it's going to be hell to pay.
Well,
I
I agree
think
with you.
discipline and talking to your children plays a big part in it. I think that kids need to be made to stay in a kid's place and respect adults more than what they are being taught, is what I think.
Oh yes, most definitely. I
And
can.
Mama,
Yes,
Mama
dear.
G, Mama G, I agree with you to a certain extent. Um, me, so the best thing that my mom had ever did, and I probably shouldn't even be opening up too much like this, uh, but my dad had drug issues, you know what I'm saying? But I guess he had, something he tried to do where my mom felt comfortable enough sending me to Florida with my mother. But by the time I got down there, I was only there for about 2 weeks before he was back in jail again, which means my grandmother ended up raising me. So the best thing that my mom could have ever did in my life was send me to my grandmother when I was about 10 years old. Then she sent me again when I was like 14 or whatever. But the best thing she could have ever did was send me down there thinking that she was sending me to my dad, even though I ended up with my grandmother, because my grandmother was the one who installed the church situations in me. You know what I'm saying? Who had me start to read these things. But if she would have never felt comfortable sending me to my dad, which ended up me being with my grandmother, and I maybe would have not even got these scriptures put into me. So sometimes these people who we are saying does need these. That's why I say I agree with you to a certain extent, because I got a whole list of reasons to why we shouldn't disobey our parents. But and out the Bible, I have a whole bunch of verses and scriptures to why we shouldn't. But without my grandmother giving me that or installing me that in me, I may have never gotten it. Which is something like this boy and his sister and his little brother may have never got, because they was never forced or had these things forced on them by their mother, and maybe because they was never forced on their mother. You see what I'm saying? So if the mother never had it forced on them, how does she force it on her kids is my question to you. Because it's hard to give somebody something that you don't know. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
so true. That's so true. So when my kids used to go to church, I would it would be a biblical and money blackmail. Especially when they were able to start writing. I said, if you can write a sentence of what the preacher said, you get 50 cents. And so my son, he was like, boom, I'm going to do that. And then my mother said, oh no, 50 cents won't do. You need to give them a couple of dollars. Boy, they would get dressed up and go to church on Sundays. And it was a win-win situation, because they would write down the scripture, tell me the main sentence of the sermon. So that means they were taught the word and they got paid, and I was satisfied.
And that's understandable. That's almost like making the students stay after school and write sentences on the chalkboard over and over and over again. But what I'm saying is, without a Mama G or without a boomer's grandma in your life, how do you really get that? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if a parent has never had a person make them do those things, then 9 times out of 10, a parent is not going to make their kids do those things. You see what I'm saying? So yes, they do need these
You're
scriptures. They
absolutely
do need to
correct.
rewrite these scriptures. But how do we get to that point if there's nobody around us pushing us to that point? It's like for instance, we talk, like I spoke on the Job situation a minute ago, and I had to tell myself that maybe that was a story that I needed to know that everything would be all right in my future, or maybe God used that for the people who's coming after Job. You know what I'm saying? For that to be a situation for them to understand, because for a long time I thought God and the devil was just playing games with people's lives, but then I had to sit back and understand that that was just something to let me know that regardless of what, God's still gonna have my back. I had to sit back and think about that. But again, if people don't even know the stories or the scriptures that comes out of the Bible, how do they get that? Now, this situation right here may now push this woman into God, to where she puts God more on her 13-year-old son, to where he doesn't do these things that his brother has done. You see what I'm saying? But it may take some bullshit to happen to push a person to God if they don't have a Mama G or a Boomer's grandmother in their lives. You see what I'm saying?
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct, because one of my followers is raising her nephew. Now, his mother, decided to order to save her son's life. She got him out of where they were living, and she sent him to another state. Now he's thriving. He went to high school. He graduated, and he got a job, a union job, and the person that raising her son now has a lot of respect for that mother, because she loved her son so much, just like God. She loved her son so much, she gave her son away so he could have a better life. I mean, I respect that mother today, because she saved her son's life. Because her son was being raised in the hood around drug dealers and everything, and she didn't want that. So she wrote me and said, Mama G, sometimes you have to do what you have to do to save your children's life.
Sometimes they don't have that.
And I
Sometimes they
respect
don't have that option, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, did this woman even have that option? Again, like you said earlier, I wish it was more details on, when we talk about these situations, do we know everything? Like, I mean, it's hard to actually get all the information. Did this person have a grandmother? Did this person have a grandfather? Was this person in the church? A lot of that doesn't come out, but that would be definitely good details as far as this conversation go, because again, we don't know how this woman was raised, to where maybe she felt like giving her children this this openness to life. I don't know, it's a word for it. I just had it on my tongue, I can't remember, but just letting their kids be open.
Liberty,
right.
Liberty,
Liberty. Letting these kids have the liberty to be able to do whatever it is they wanted to do. Like, what I'm saying? It's like, baby, was she a victim of child abuse, to where she felt like that's just not what she's gonna do, and she's not gonna talk to her kids how she was talked to. She's not gonna treat her kids how she was treated. She's not gonna raise her kids how she was raised, to where she don't even see what the outcomes could be. And this is the outcome of not chastising your kids. I seen Miss Leia in the comments say, "Bring the good old ass whoopings back." That's true, but it's so hard to even if you wanted to whoop your kids and not abuse, but whoop their ass. Just whooping their ass and get them took from you. You know what I'm saying? You could, man, my child. I whoop my child. I whipped my child's ass because they went over Mama G's house and broke her windows and tore up her couches on the front porch, and I whooped his ass. You know what, ma'am? That's still not a good enough reason, and we feel like you're not a good enough mother or good enough father, and we'll put them in the system. You see what I'm saying? Just like you used to.
I had rest his soul. My third child told me that, he said, if you spank me, I'm calling 911. You know what I told him? I said, you're Jesus, you won't resurrect. I said, you call 911 on me, you're not Jesus, you will not resurrect.
These kids got to understand what you mean when you say that to them, though. If they haven't had the Bible teaching, they're not going to understand that.
Okay, well, my son knew what resurrection meant, that he was going to come out of the grave. He knew that.
Your son do, but maybe these other kids might not. Of course not. Of course not, if they haven't been taught. But see, that's the responsibility of Christian people in the churches.
That's what that is called evangelism, where we go out to community centers, have
Mhm.
discussions, have activities like at Juneteenth in Oceanside, California, downtown. They had different churches had different booths, inviting people, giving them little tracts about Jesus, loves them, and so that's what you call evangelism. To where if you have a problem and if you need prayer, call this number or come to our church. And see, so
Correct.
that's what the Christian community needs to do. Evangelize. Go to these parks, have activities for the people to come out and find out about them. But we
But
so
when they do
afraid
it, but when they
as
do it, they need to they need to come down to us to and this is personal. This is my personal thoughts. When they do those things, they need to come down to the people's level. They
right,
can't
of
come.
course.
They can't come from a higher level and God said and God said. They need to come to a understanding, comprehensive level to where it's like make a person understand why these things are needed and not that we are just forcing it just because God said and the Bible said. Because
No, what
a
you
lot
do
of times,
when you evangelize, you say hi, how are you, and you talk about common things. You find out what things you have in common. Then the conversation can go further. See, there's a technique you use when
truly,
you
truly,
evangelize. Sometimes I can't say that word; I get tongue tied. But
evangelize.
you have to like at Juneteenth, I had a booth, my Mama G booth, and I had my little papers about praying over your children while they're in school. And so one young lady said, I've never thought about that. Oh, I said, yeah, you got to pray for them while they're in school. Ask the Lord to help them be obedient. Ask the Lord to help them concentrate. She said, that's a good idea. See, so you you don't go and say you need to read the words. You say hi. What's your name? What are the things you like to do? And then you go from there. You get them on a personal level of just life. And then if they share with you some situation, then you can say, well, in the word, it'll tell you how to handle this situation. For example, Sunday. Now, I was at church Sunday, right? And my grandson wanted to play the drums, right, at the church. And I didn't say a word, but see, earlier he was acting kind of mean. And I said, God is not pleased with that. So when he got to church, he thought he could still play. And he found out he couldn't play. I said, see, God watched you this morning of how your attitude was. And now you want to do something and you can't. And he thought about that. He said, well, I need to change my attitude because God is watching me. I said, you're right. But we have to, as a community, we have to reach those who don't know. And that's what the church community should do.
You know what
And
I think the church
sometimes
community.
we're not doing that.
You know what I think the church community should do.
What?
And I thought I had a calling. I probably still do have a calling as far as being a preacher, but I can't be a normal preacher. I could never ever be. I don't think if I was to be a preacher, I don't think I could be a normal preacher because they don't have this branch. And maybe I'm supposed to start this branch, but I think that we need to have a real ghetto gospel. I think it needs to be a ghetto gospel. I don't think I
You
mean if
talking
people
about
want to
give it to
go,
them raw, not sugar coated?
man, you hear me? Not that Baptist tabernacle, none of that. I think that that's cool if people want to be part of those branches, but I think that we need to have a real ghetto gospel where a person can tell you what the scriptures say and then give you their actual thoughts on it. Because even
Yeah.
in all branches, when people preach, they try and preach. This is what the word say. This is what it's supposed to mean. But in actuality, we're supposed to interpret it on how we feel about it or how it bases on our life. So I really think that we need a ghetto gospel to where, like she said, give it to you raw, nigga. Don't be disrespecting your parents. Look, it's a it's a verse. What is it? Ephesians 4:29. What it says?
Let
Let
me get
no
it for you. Let me get it for you. I'm gonna get that for you.
yeah, go
Okay,
grab it.
well, while you
4:29.
pulling that up,
Ephesians 4:29. It says, "Let no corruption talk come out of your mouths, but only such as good for building up, as it fits occasions, that it may give grace to those who hear." You know what I'm saying? So it's like it doesn't have to be me talking crazy as much as when I'm telling you it fits whatever is going on with you so that everybody else can understand what I'm saying to them. So I don't have to say it directly out the Bible, but give you the actual, like give you an actual option or understanding of what it means or how it pertains to you. So when I tell you, that, a father who curses his son or a son who curses his father. Let me see, what is it? Proverbs 10:1. Or excuse me, not that one. Proverbs 20:20, where it says, "If one curses his father or his mother, his lamp shall be put in utter darkness." I should just come out straight and tell you, instead of saying Proverbs 20:20, I should just come out and tell you, like, bro, if you disrespect your mama and your daddy, nigga, your life is gonna be fucked. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I should be able to come out and tell you that, because if I come out and tell you what the Bible say, you ain't gonna really comprehend what I'm saying.
Well,
So
no, wait a minute.
also,
I disagree with that, because if they read it, because if you say this is in the Bible, you can say that it was in the Bible, because I used to quote the Bible, and then my children still look at me like I'm crazy. I said, okay, read it for yourself. Read it for yourself. Once they read it for themselves, they got it. Now, you said Ephesians 4:29, do not let unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building up others according to their needs, that
right,
they may benefit those who listen. Do not
correct,
grieve the Holy Spirit of God, with whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Get get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, brawling, slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ, God, forgave you. Now, you're absolutely right. Read that and then say it in your own words and then show it to them. Boom, you got it.
that's what I'm saying. So
you
when I
you
give
know
it to you
what,
like
too?
that, so if I give it to you straight out the verse, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this dude just preaching straight out the Bible." No, I want to give it to you straight raw, bro. Understand what I'm saying? When I give you a verse out the Bible, this is what the Bible says. You can go look it up, but I'm gonna give you what I got from it, and then I want you to understand how I feel about it, and then maybe you can interpret it into how you feel about it. But at the end of the day, I don't want you to feel like I'm just preaching you verses of the
Right.
Bible. That's why I feel like we have to have some type of ghetto gospel to where people who don't want to be involved in the church because it's, oh, you just preaching out the Bible, oh, you just saying what the Bible said. No, I want you to really understand me, nigga. I want you to really understand me, motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really,
Also too, boom, you also, when preaching, when trying to spread the word to some people, a lot of them get mixed up. It's a way that they said that comes off judgmental. Once a person is coming off judgmental, who wants to hear that? Who wants to feel like
correct,
they're being judged? So it's sometimes it's not how you say something. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
That's
correct.
right. Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
So now
Exactly.
when I come to you, and let me see this little verse I got that I be having
So are
here.
you looking that up? Miss Unique says my exact reason why I created my channel, because churches now just be preaching feel good stuff to keep people manipulated. There's so much more to teach, and it's not being taught. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. So when I tell you, hey bro, go look up Exodus 21:17. It says, "Who curses his father or his mother shall be put to death." You hear that? So you curse your mom or your dad, you gonna die. Like they gonna be like, nigga, you and that Bible can get the hell out of here. So for me, I'm gonna be like, okay.
Hey, boom. Somebody, Miss Unique just said, for ghetto gospel, laughed out loud. Ghetto gospel, but real talk.
LOL, ghetto gospel, but real talk. We must remain holy and teach the true lesson in the word.
Okay, so that's a fact. So we can take out the curse words. We can take out the curse words, but I mean, we curse people every day when we say good morning. You know what I'm saying? We curse people every day when we say good, have a good week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we telling the person to have a good week. Like week, WEEK is what they push to us, but at the end of the day, WEAK is really what it means. So we're talking about the actual spelling of the word. It still means the same, even though it's spelled different. It's weak. You're telling somebody to be weak. You're telling somebody to have a good morning. Ain't no way to distinguish morning, but morning. If somebody died, we're mourning them. So when you tell somebody to have a good morning, you're telling them, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
no.
Those are two different words. They mean two different things. So when you tell somebody to have a good morning, they should know what you mean. Morning is morning and morning is morning. You know what I'm saying? And then, but to piggyback off of what you were saying, though, Boom, I get where you're coming from and what you're trying to say. Because take, for example, Kirk Franklin. How did he get people into listening to gospel? He was Harlem shaking. You know what I'm saying? So I get where you going.
I'm gonna say this. Listen, mourning, the expression of deep sorrow for someone who has died, typically involving following certain conventions such as wearing black clothes. Mourning, grief, grieving, sorrow, lamentation, being wailing. Like there is no other option other than bad. Like it's all sad.
So you spelled like good morning like MORNING and morning MOURNING.
Correct. So MOURNING, morning. So if we take the U out, their statings for morning is the period of time between midnight noon, especially for sunrise to noon. AM, morn, forenoon. Man, you take a word and you get your own definition to it. Basically, is what they did. So it's still the same. Tomato. If you ask me, I feel like we have to freaking change our wording on however we use it and put it towards the actual what we actually trying to get across. So I'd rather just say top of the day. You know what I'm saying? Personally, top of the day to you, like, you know what I'm saying, before I say good morning, because it just seems like a spell. Like, but I think that we just have to figure out how to get these words across to people and not make it just feel like it's just straight out the Bible. Like, I feel like we just have to get this understanding to a person to where they can understand it without having to feel like it's straight out the Bible. It's just good or bad. Like, listen, bro, if I'm sitting here cussing on my mom about the internet that I didn't pay, that's wrong. I mean, like, you should just innately understand that. Like, this should just automatically come to you and understand that. Like, there shouldn't be no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Like, I shouldn't be cussing my mom out about something that I didn't pay for. Like, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? So do I need the Bible to really tell me that? And if I do, then maybe somebody who understands the Bible can come and tell me, like, this verse right here tells you if you disrespect your parents, something can happen to you, bruh. Like, so now you want me to give you the full exact verse? Then I can give you the full exact verse. But real talk, like, if you disrespect your parents, you don't live long, bruh.
That's it. There you go. There you go.
Hit the head on the nail. Hit the head on the nail. Hello, Miss Unique. Thank you for joining.
How can hello, Miss Unique? You can't.
Hey,
you
how
can't
y'all doing?
Good. And I like your ear. I love your earrings. And I'm gonna let you have the floor. Just let me say this real quick. You just can't be. Listen. If I take the Bible out of the whole equation, man, I could just take forget the Bible, not forget the Bible. Let's just move the Bible to the side right quick. I know for a fact that I shouldn't be having sex out of wedlock, because if I'm out here having sex with this many women, I'm going to get an STD. Now, that doesn't mean that because I'm married, I still can't catch an STD, but at least I know where the fuck it came from. You see what I'm saying? Do I really need the Bible to tell me this, or should I just automatically have the common sense to understand that I don't need to be sleeping with that woman because I catch this STD and then I won't even know where it came from? And if my woman is only sleeping with me and I'm only sleeping with her, then therefore we don't have to worry about no STD. It should be some type of common sense. Common sense ain't common, but it should be some type of common sense. So the Bible is definitely there, but I do think that we need to be able to push this off on people on the Ebonic side, I would say, to where a person can understand it more, to where they don't have to feel like, oh, you just preaching. No, I'm giving you the truth. I'm giving you the truth, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel. Like, I definitely think we need some ghetto gospel for people to understand, man.
I agree.
Right.
I agree. I chimed in. I wanted to chime in because I was in the comment section. I couldn't type fast enough. But but you're absolutely right. I believe your name is Boone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And that's what I was saying. You know, that is why I created my channel, is because when I turned my life over to Christ, when I began to read the word for myself, there was so much information in there that I had to realize that is not being taught. I mean, I have traveled from pretty much all my life, from Arkansas, I'm in Atlanta, I'm back in Georgia, and I don't care what church I've been in. I found a home now, but I don't care how many churches I've been in, they're only preaching your next blessing, or when your breakthrough is coming, or your promotion is on the way. You know what I'm saying? That feel good type of preaching, the preaching that only manipulates the mind. And so common sense is part of wisdom. So wisdom is not taught, if, you know what I'm saying, in churches. So a lot of people are walking around without the common sense. And so I do believe that, yes, the word does need to come across a totally different way. And that is the reason why I'm not ordained. I am just going off of pure experience. I'm coming straight from the word.
Say that word one more time.
I'm coming from straight experience.
You said ordained?
I'm not ordained.
She's not ordained. She's not ordained.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Miss
Like
G.
Yeah, I'm not an ordained minister. Hey, how you doing, Mama G?
Oh, I'm fine. I am just fine. I am pleased to listen to you. And I am just honored to be a part of this. I was like, okay. I'm out of my Oceanside, California zone. Thanks to Mslonda. I love her for that.
Amen.
And I do, like I said, it's as Christians, we have to evangelize. You know, like I was telling Boone, we need to evangelize what God has done for us. And that's why I was going to tell Boone that's why the Bible is in so many versions now, to where it can be read to the common person. Because in the old English version, we got confused.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of the vocabulary words we didn't understand. So culturally, they had to change the Bible in different variations. Like there's one in today's Standard English, New International English, the Message version. See, so we have to choose to evangelize these people who don't know God. And like I was really hurt by the family dynamic of the problem between the son and the mother and the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
See, because there was no male figure in the house, so the mother had to change her lifestyle. If she would have shown her children that God was first in her life, then the children could be acted a different way, and there wouldn't have been so much violence.
Mm-hmm. That is very, very true.
You
I
know,
believe
'cause
that, that comes from her parenthood as well.
that's why.
When I think about us today, I think about, Israelites, this is Old Testament here, and, when they went over to the promised land, and if we're just dialoguing here, they lost that wisdom because it died off. It
Right.
wasn't continued to be
And,
taught.
and,
And so
and
that is the
judges,
same thing that happened with us. It's just
right?
not
Because
after generation is not being taught.
right, because when Moses died, Aaron took over, correct? And
Mm-hmm.
then, but see, Aaron did not teach anybody. So in Judges, everybody died because that generation didn't know God. Every judge died because there was nobody that taught them to follow God. So in Judges, it was a lot of tragical things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And see, so if a generation doesn't know God, that generation will teach the other generation about not knowing God. And so we have a whole couple of generations that don't know how to handle life.
Yes, yes,
Which is
yes.
why I call upon the ghetto gospel, because that way you get these killed children more interested in it when I can hear it like this instead of like that. Like if I gotta hear it like you sell and you need and I'm like, hold on, bro, don't tell me. But if I hear somebody like, hold on, bro, this is what can happen, this is gonna go on, la 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 la, then I'm more prone to listen to that. Like
That's what you know what that, that's what that's what the young, because I go, that's what they're doing now. They're going to school, but
You going in and out, Mama
they're
G.
coming
Yeah, she's breaking up.
You
back
cutting up. Yeah.
to the community and hello.
Yeah, we hear you, but you cutting out.
Yeah, it's breaking up pretty bad.
Oh, uh, oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she's still
Can you hear
breaking
me
up pretty
now?
bad.
you might want to come out and go back. You might want to
The
go out and come back in.
Oh, okay.
No, there you go. You good now. You good now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what the young ministers are doing. They're going to school and then they're coming back and teaching them life application. They're teaching the word and then they're speaking it your way, boom, but they ain't cussing. They say, look, this is how we got to do this, but they don't say MF and all that stuff. They say, my brother, my sister, we got to stop this. You got to stop this. But they don't have to curse, boom. I love you. You remind me of my uncle. Every other word he said, he would say, they don't understand it the nice way. I have to curse to get them to understand. I said, oh, okay. So
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for every language and every voice is needed in this season, and and in this season we can't wait to go to school and get educated. We got to I run off of pure experience because it's more transparent, because you want to meet people where they are, and a lot of the preachers now, when they get educated, I feel like sometimes I'm not speaking for all educated preachers, but I am speaking on some of them who get too educated. They can't meet people where they are. Like we're literally going through real stuff down here. And when you get educated, you're going to forget that compassion that you're supposed to have and know that we're all struggling. And we got to know that the word tells us that if it stopped teaching from generations, then we're going to have to really not dumb it down, but we're going to really have to bring ourselves back down to a place where God first met you. You know what I'm saying? Where he met us at. He didn't look at no education. God didn't look at where, he pulled you out of your mess, redeemed you, and you start walking in it, And so I feel like, like Boom was saying, like, it's just a different language. I don't understand the cussing because God definitely wants us to be a little bit more graceful, but I understand it. Like, this how I'm talking to you all. This is how I talk on my channel. I'm about to give you the word just like this. I'm about to talk to you just like this. I have a series called Awaken Woman. And that is it. Literally, the last episode I just did hits even men because it was talking about Ruth and Naomi. And Naomi, you know what I'm saying, is a person who literally thought less of herself because of what she lost. You know, she lost a husband and 2 sons. And it's so many stories out of just that one segment. You know what I'm saying? And you got to pull that lesson out of there. You can't, there's a lot of us, even myself. I read the Bible like it was a story. And I ain't getting none of it like that. So I say, okay, God, you're going to have to help me. Holy Ghost, you come in and help me read this word to a place where I can understand. So like she was saying, Mama G said, the New Living Translation, I go between that one, the Message, and King James, because I want to make sure that this word is saying the same thing and is lining up for what God is trying to say. And then that word just starts to come more pure. Every word matters in the word of God. I mean, the one word can change the entire sentence. So it's a reason why God will use one word in a sentence, and there's a lesson behind it. But that's not being taught. That is just not being taught. And this is every language that we're doing. You can have on your podcast and tell the word the way you tell it, and you can tell your experience through that word, and it's going to reach millions.
And that's the thing. And in this situation right here with the brother killing the sister, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I told people, like I try and tell people all the time, I always go back to Cain and Abel. Like, I can sit here and preach Cain and Abel to you, but at the end of the day, the whole lesson is to let you understand that your own brother will kill you. Like, that's the lesson. Like, that's one.
That's one part. That's one part of the lesson. The main part of that lesson, though, is jealousy. One thing about Cain, God knew that he was not giving his best offering. That is the main lesson in that, okay? See, they both had to give up an offering to God. And when Cain and Abel would bring their offering, Abel would bring his best. And God honored him for that. But Cain could not understand that mere fact because he was giving God his sloppy seconds. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So he's looking at his brother like, oh, God favoring you. Oh, so God like you better because you were doing the wrong thing, not because your brother was doing the wrong thing. Your brother is being honored because he's doing what God has called him to do. You understand what I'm saying? So Cain did that out of jealousy.
But jealousy still. So when I look at you 3 women on this panel, on Mslonda's panel, like, I'm looking at y'all, of course, as sisters, but at the end of the day, if I'm looking at Mslonda and she getting more views than me, or I'm looking at Miss Unique and she getting more views than me, or she getting more love than me, that's me sitting over here figuring out why I don't like you guys. So of course it's jealousy, but now you guys need to know that Boomer sitting on this panel could possibly kill you guys, and it doesn't have to be literally. I could just go on my show.
And you can do it too. You know what? And you can do it too, Boom. You know why? Because I'm saved by God's grace. See, and you can take my body, but you can't touch my soul. And that's one thing about Abel. He might be God, but he already with Christ. There's nothing you can do to me to take me from this place.
And you can have that faith, and you can have that love, and you can have that understanding with yourself, and that secureness with yourself, and understand that you got God's grace. You ain't worried about me taking your body or your soul. I mean, your body, because I can't take your soul. But at the end of the day, I am still your brother, and I can still harm you some type of way just because
but that's anybody though, and that's one thing that the Bible tells us. We can't live in fear. God does not give us the spirit of fear. He gives us the spirit of power and a sound mind. You understand what I'm saying? So with the word of God, we walk in that confidence. I'm not coming against you or anything. I understand what you're saying. But it's almost like that's just the act of the enemy. If the enemy jumps upon you and say you want to take people out because we're doing what God called us to do, God already done told us that can happen. But he already told us that you say. You know what I'm saying?
So let me take the word kill out then. Let me take the word kill out. And I will say then your own brother could be your enemy. Your own sister could be your enemy. And how about I start saying that further? Then I'm glad that we was able to have a conversation now, because now I can take that kill word out and change it into enemy, because that's my whole point of that story. It's like your own brother can be your enemy. So even if you walk around in here and you doing what you're supposed to do, the person that you think loves you the most can still be your enemy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly right.
And so when I'm trying to do, so when I'm talking about the ghetto gospel, I think that's the reason I'm bringing up ghetto gospel, and that's how we supposed to give it to people, by instead of saying, oh, I mean, yes, it's because of jealousy, or oh, the Bible said this, but let me just give you how this can affect you more or less than. You see what I'm saying? More or less than this is just what the Bible
you
says.
can go on. You can start with jealousy, and you can just take jealousy and break it down. You're gonna get to an enemy. You're gonna get to a badness. You're gonna get to evil stuff.
And I still want to connect with you on the way for you to understand that just because you walking around here thinking that this is your homeboy or this is your homegirl, that still can come out of jealousy, and they can physically and mentally harm you. And that's how we're supposed to give it off, more than, oh, Cain killed his brother because he had a better offering to God. Oh, Cain did this because he had a better offering, or God thought this, that. No, bro, listen, understand that these people ain't who you think they are. And that's what I want to get the gospel to be like, you know what I'm saying? That's really how I want to
breaking it down to them in a way where they understand on their level.
Correct. Exactly. And that's like you were saying earlier. Yeah, I could come to you and be like, oh, I'm in this position now. God put me here. God put me here. God put me here. But I'm not like, a person ain't gonna want to hear it like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Talk about where you came from, because we all came from there. We all sinned. We all fell short to the glory of God, and people got to know that. But a lot of people won't put that across the pulpit, and that's why we have this family here. You know what I'm saying? Who wasn't taught the word of God. And her family before her, when she was a child, probably wasn't taught the word of God. So that is a generational curse that just kept rolling over. And that's a lot of us will be living into that.
How do we reach those people?
So you did listen.
Like how you were just saying, Boom. You got, because if you want to get somebody's attention, you got to know how to do it. So you got to get on a level to make them want to listen. Like I said, if you coming to them preaching, but you coming off judgmental, they don't want to hear that. So they're gonna automatically just they don't want to hear it. You got to get on their level, like you said. Find a way where they relate.
I had a young girl.
If you go on her panel, I was just watching her show last night, and it was a good show. She talks just like how I watched yours too, Mama G, but I'm talking about Unique's. Yeah, she talks just how she's talking. So it's like, I would sit there and listen versus her just coming off saying, the way some of them come off. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
And God said, no, what you been through, bro? Tell me what you've been through. So
and if you doing this, then you a Jezebel, and that type of stuff. Don't nobody want to hear that. Nobody wants to be judged. And then also,
so you just been married every time you had sex.
I also you need to stop talking to people like they haven't been through stuff either. Now, or like they've had a perfect place.
One young lady came to this was years ago. She came into the church, right? You can tell she didn't have the proper attire, or the clothes that we wear at church. She's been at the club, right? And I said, "Good morning, sweetheart. You are so pretty." I said, "I love this dress, but I'm gonna tell you now, I'm gonna need you to don't sit close where the deacons or the preacher is, okay? Because you'll be a little distracted. So I want you to sit in the back with me today. But if you need some help to get you a little longer skirt, I'll help you with that. But we don't want anybody to. I don't want to have to give CPR to any of the old deacons or the preachers." And she laughed, but she got the point. She said, "Ma'am, this is all I had to wear because I don't have any church clothes." I said, "Baby, we can help you with that." So I don't want to give anybody no CPR today. So I need you to sit back here with me.
Yeah.
But now, see, the difference is I didn't come in.
I was just gonna say this. This comment. Hold on, it's coming.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Men are men. So, but I told her nicely and politely, but I didn't say, "Baby, you shouldn't come to church." I said, "I need you to come sit with me on this row here because if them old deacons or that preacher see you, they'll be distracted." And she started laughing. See, there's a way to say that. Like,
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, when we go to the place of God, of course we want to come our best. Not that you have to dress a certain way, but you want to bring God your best. That just goes right back to Cain and Abel. But we still want to bring the best we have to Christ. And but if the best we have is what we have, then the church should definitely be meeting us right where we are. You know, that is a teaching moment. That is a moment where we can just bring in wisdom and be like, hey sis, I did the same thing when I first came to Christ, but you know what I'm saying, this how these men up in here is, and you know, I don't even want that type of
So,
danger. So you know what I'm
so I
saying? And
want to
just
hit y'all.
embracing them.
And then so you know, she smiled. She said, "Ma'am, I understand." So we
That's
said
awesome.
a few, not we said a few rows back, but not so close up in the front, because you know these old women, you know, from the old school. Where's she been? What club did she go to? You don't want to
Yeah.
hear that.
But can I hit y'all with? Can I hit y'all with? Is that a possibility? Is that possibly a little bit judgmental?
No,
Because
it's
No,
not
no,
just.
no. I think it's on your
I
approach.
kind of
You know, just like she was saying, your approach. I'm sorry.
well, I was just gonna say
I
because
kind of think so, because it does say in the Bible to come as you are. She made it to the house of God, whether she was at the club the night before, she did make it there. You know,
I mean, true being, but then we gotta talk about repenting when we talking about you leaving the club and going to the church. Like, how many times you gonna keep on doing this? Like, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I'm
I
looking
don't
at,
know. I'm just saying, I'm trying to think of a reason why she would wear that type of dress. I don't know.
and I'm about to give you a reason, not the reason, because there's probably plenty of them. But I'm about to give you one of them, and it could just be a person who has been a prostitute for a long time or a pimp for a long time, and their reason for coming to church is because they want to change their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And so when they come to church, they instantly hit with, "Oh, you dressing wrong." Do you not think that could come across judgmental to where the point where a person like, you know what, that's not even the place for me either. Because as soon as I walked in there, they started
Or
talking to me
discourage
about the
them.
clothes I was wearing when I was coming for this. Now I will say I understand that what you got on may give this man a heart attack because he keep on, you know what I'm saying, looking, or he ain't supposed to be, he doing something that he ain't supposed to be doing, or a woman is looking at this man because of what he got on because he dressed like something that she may want. But if we are in church and you have people in there like that, then obviously church ain't the best place that you should be going for everybody else's reason. It should definitely be for personal reason. Because if I'm going to church and I'm dressed like something, and the person that's in there that's supposed to be so sanctified can't keep his eyes off of me. Last time I heard, lust was a sin. This man sitting here lusting on me because I got on the short skirt. He ain't even supposed to be looking at me. I'm here trying to get the word so I can get out of this short skirt. And you can't stop looking at me. You can't even preach the word because you looking at me. What does that tell me about you then? So am I in the right place still?
he's
Well,
human.
you know that. Yeah, we're still human. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is no one
And
perfect.
that's
We
why I'm
all
here
fall
because I'm
short.
human. I was prostituting. I was selling myself. I
But
was
that's
selling
what I
myself.
was about to say. Like, it's about the approach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
you can't.
that's
We're
why.
not coming up to the person and be like, oh no, you can't be in here dressed like that. Like, we ain't gonna talk to nobody like that. Again, God is love, and love causes a multitudes of sin. And so, therefore, when we're greeting people in love, we're embracing her just like a person with a whole smock on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're nothing's different, but at the same time, it's just an educational moment. You know, and women to women, I know I've done it plenty of times, just like Mama G said. It's all about the embrace. You pull that person to the side, and you know what, look, woman, you know what I'm saying, I used to do this as well. I came in here like this one time, and I felt really uncomfortable the way that some of the men was in here looking at me, because they still trying to be delivered too. You understand what I'm saying? We are in the church trying to be delivered. Okay, we ain't here because we are delivered and nobody arrived. You understand what I'm saying? So we're talking to them. We gotta again meet her on her level. You know what I'm saying? We done been in the club. You know, we already know what
Wait
it
a minute.
is, but
Wait, I
you
ain't
don't
gonna
want to run them
lie.
away.
Wait a minute. I'm not gonna lie. If my husband said, and he's the deacon, he said, baby, let's go out. I'm putting on my clothes and I'm looking as cute as I can so nobody else, so he won't look at nobody else but me on that dance floor, okay?
Yeah,
I
there's just a soul. At the end of the day, the clothes is the clothes, but it's still a soul. That's what I see. And everybody has their own, perspective of this, like you're saying, Boone, and I get it. But I really believe it's just really based on the approach. There are a lot of people who are religious and all holy than thou. Look, I try, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be straight up with you. I try to be holy because that's how God asked me to be. But at the same time, I know I have my flaws. And so I'm gonna always see a stole before I see what you got on. But not
I'm gonna say
everybody
this.
operate that way.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not the strip club type. I've been to strip clubs when I was younger, and I was watching. And what woke me up from not being a strip club type was the fact that I would leave out of there erected and nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my thing was, what the hell am I about to be up in here for? If I'm not about to get nothing, I could just find somebody, you know what I'm saying, who will take these couple dollars and let me do what I do, compared to just going in here, throwing a couple dollars, leaving out of here with nothing. So if I'm going to church and I see a woman come in there that is possibly dressed like a stripper who is trying to change her life, my job is not to be looking at her because of what she got on and sitting here like, oh man, she's so sexy. Let me stop thinking about why I'm here and start thinking about her. Like, obviously, that's not what I want. So if that's what I want, then I'm in the church for the wrong reasons, first off. So there shouldn't be no reason to why. So you see what I'm saying? So there shouldn't be no reason to why you come up in there with your skin tight dress on, or this man come up in there with whatever he got on that's making the woman look at him, and me stop looking at the reason that I'm here. If that's the case, like you said, we are all not delivered. But if I'm really trying to be delivered, that should not be a distraction to me. I should already.
Well, that's where the other members come in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't got to be on the pulpit to meet somebody where they are. That's why you have ushers. That's why you have the women board. That's why you have just members, you know what I'm saying, who may be true to the word. Not everybody. That's why I was about to say, bless you if that is you on that pew. Bless you for being that guy. But not everybody is going to be like you. And we are just saying right now, churches are not teaching this. So you're going to have men in there that are not fully delivered because they're not being taught the right word. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? We just have to only own up to our own self, hold our own self accountable. That's all we really can do.
All I'm saying is, on the judgmental side of it, all I'm saying is I would be more prone to Mslonda, Miss Unique, Miss Mama G to come to me if I'm that prostitute woman coming up the street. I would be more prone to you taking me to a store and showing me nice dresses and helping me get those nice dresses, more or less.
We'll definitely do that right after church.
but and that's cool. But the way I would want you to come at me, when I walk in that church, instead of telling me to come sit back here because this person may be looking at you or that person may, I would rather you come at me and be like, yeah, at the church, I know a place that we can go and we can get you right. And that'll be it. And you'd be like, oh, what you talking about? Oh, shit, don't worry about it. Once we done with church, once we done getting this word, I'm going to take you somewhere. I'm going to show you some things. You know what I'm saying? I may take you to a place that got some beautiful $10 dresses and some beautiful $10 outfits for men or whatever, and show you some things and get you right to where it's not me judging you, but me helping you. So therefore, when I start talking to Miss Unique again, I'm like, oh man, Miss Unique helped me get some nice clothes, more or less than Miss Unique told me that what I was wearing was arousing the men in the church.
Well, both of y'all approaches are correct, though, to be honest with you, Boone. Both of y'all approaches are correct. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said earlier, every voice and every language is needed in this season. Mama G is seasoned. You understand what I'm saying? So she's going to come with a seasoned approach. Boone, you going to meet somebody on a different generational level. So both approaches are right.
That's why I think we need to get a gospel branch. Because if I walk into the season,
go ahead and open it up.
If I walk into the season branch, I'm gonna get confronted like, hey man, what you got on? They gonna be looking at you, bro, and I'm gonna be like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going back to where I came from because you're already judging me. But if I go to the ghetto gospel, I'm gonna have somebody who's gonna be like, hey, I got a spot for you where you can get fresh real quick, like, you know what I'm saying? And then that person gonna be like, yeah, you gonna help me get fresh and you want me to come back? I'll be more prone to coming back to that than a person telling me what I got on gonna make what it matters what I got on. I'm here to get God. What does it matter? If everybody here to get God, it shouldn't matter. So I understand the season approach, but I feel like that approach is what's pushing people away, to which making them disrespect and be disrespectful because they don't care about God, nor do they care about respect.
Boom, son. Boom, son. I hugged her and I said good morning to her, and I made the little joke, and she got it, and she smiled, and we sat together. I said, "Come sit with me," and so she sat with me, and then after church, I took her over to what was that, Walmart? No, yeah, I think it was Walmart, and I said, "Here's a little shirt dress we can wear next week." And she said, "Oh, you're so sweet, ma'am. Thank you very much." Because I gave her the little joke. I said, "I didn't want to give these old men the CPR." She fell out laughing. But if I would have said, "Oh no, baby, no, baby, you can't come in here because these old men will be looking at you like you crazy." I said, "I don't want to give anybody no CPR." So it's the approach, and she didn't feel bad.
But all I'm saying is, Miss G, that everybody is not going to take that. I think that more people would be more. I think that more percentage of people would be more prone to you letting them be them, without saying anything. You sit wherever you want, and everybody just be whatever. And then once we done with church, I'll take you to get you an outfit, more or less than telling you why I'm taking you to get an outfit. There shouldn't even be no reason why. I'm gonna just do it on the spot.
Listen. I saved her from all of those older women and men looking at her and talking to her because she sat in a spot with me where everybody wasn't turning around looking at her. You understand that?
Yeah,
Because
but I mean,
people do judge.
you already know everybody. You know what you got on, you're gonna be an eye catcher. You got on
So
something.
you saved her from the old women turning their noses up at her, is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying. Like, y'all both are kind of like saying the same thing. That's why I agree with the both of you. I just, everybody's language and voice is different, and we're gonna meet people right where they are. Like Miss Mama G met her where she needed, and her language worked. And boom, the way you would have, if you was a woman, approached a woman, it would have worked. You understand what I'm saying?
Even if I'm a man, like I said, that's why I took the stripper side of it. Like if I'm in church and I'm trying to get my life together, and I see a woman come in that I know that I would have got erected from and got nothing out of it, I would have not paid attention while we was at church. But then after church, I would have walked up to her and been like, "Hey, how you doing? I see you in here trying to get yourself together. You know what I'm saying? Let me help you. Let me show you. Some things. Like, you know what I'm saying?" And one of those things would have been showing her how to possibly put this clothes on. Now, that wouldn't have been me saying, "This is what you got on. Everybody gonna be looking at you, talking about you." It would have just been more of me saying, hey, try this, and that would have been it. I wouldn't even get you what everybody gonna do, because we already know somebody gonna talk about you. Your mama gonna talk about you. Your sister gonna talk about you. Even if I do find her some better clothes, people gonna still talk about her. She thinks she righteous now. I mean, they're gonna talk about you regardless.
Yeah, they're gonna talk regardless, and some people just don't know that, like your wisdom. That woman probably didn't know that. She probably didn't know people were gonna look at her like that. She probably didn't know that she was an eye catcher like that. Some people are walking around, like Proverbs say, we're simple-minded. There's a lot of simpletons around here. They do not have the same wisdom, and so when they come into church, everybody don't think that.
And I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong, Miss G, Mama G. And I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, Mama G. I fully understand what you're saying. It definitely made 100% sense. What I'm saying is that's a great person that you came across, because there are people out here who may have took that joke the wrong way, is all I'm saying. They could have took that joke that you was trying to make it light and turned it into dark. Like, what you mean? Oh, I'm gonna get somebody. Does that even matter? Does that matter? You see, that's all I'm saying, Mama G. I'm not saying what you said is wrong. I'm just saying that situation. So I'm just gonna try another way and bring it to you. Like, hey, good. I'm glad you came to church. Let me take you to this place right quick. They got some nice clothes up in here. Boom, bow. I'm not saying that what was wrong though.
You know what was really bad? About 40 years ago, you came into church with a dress that was too revealing. One of the actions was go and get you a robe to put on.
That's even messed. Now I'm really about to leave. You hear me? I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all worried about what I look like? I'm trying to come get God. I'm out of here.
That's what happened to me. I'm back in the day, so that's what happened to me. Or I've had someone, with those little scarves, they lay it on my lap, if my dress was too short. You know what I'm saying? I've had it happen to me, but at the same time, I understood. But everybody different.
Everybody
So
simpletons. You like you said, simpletons. The people who ain't who simple minded. Like it's gonna be you might. Luckily, she wasn't a simple. I mean, a person that's not simple minded. Like luckily, she was able and more understandable when you came at her like that, Miss my Mama G. Because it could have been that. It could have been that person that been like, "What you mean?" You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to reach those person who gonna think what you mean. I'd rather go to that person who gonna think like that and be like, I don't need you to even give me the what you mean. I'd rather you just ride with me. Shit, let's go. Let's go here right quick.
You
Man,
also
it's
could
a
have been a
nice
person that was raised with respect, also. Because you get some
that's
people
true.
that's been raised with respect, and if an elder say something to them, even though they don't like it, they just kind of like blow it off and not get disrespectful. So she could have been raised with respect.
So
That's
when you
right.
meet that person, when you get that person that's coming to look for God and they ain't got no respect in them and they trying to change and they don't know, and you hit them with that joke and they, oh, you being disrespectful, you don't know me, I'm trying to get God, like, you know what I'm saying, they give you that attitude, you might push that person away, and I might push that person away coming at them like that. So instead of me even making you feel like I'm judging you, I'm just about to sit here and show you a place. They got all these nice little dresses and stuff like that. They real cheap, and I'm gonna pay for them. You ain't even gotta come out of pocket. Like, you know what I'm saying? Here you go. Like now you know what I'm saying? Now next time you come to church, I ain't even gonna tell you next time you come to church, but I know for a fact next time you got to come to church, you got something to wear that you can cover up in, because who knows where you came from? Who knows what your closet look like? Your whole closet might look like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let me throw 4-5 more items up in there so the next month, so that you come to church on Sundays, you got a whole different outfit to wear than what you got in your closet that you didn't even pay for, and you can feel more comfortable coming to church than what you normally wear. Because that might be your reason to come to church. You don't even have the money right now. You got all this skimpy stuff or whatever, and you can't even, get a nice outfit. So let me put you in a position to even be able to wear it. Now, if you still come to church and you dressing like that 2 more times, you know what I'm saying, then maybe we do need to tell you, hey, bro, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you got the clothes to change it to. You just doing this purposely. You feel me? But we don't know what you got.
I'm going to tell you what my aunt used to tell me. Yeah, now, I didn't say this, but my aunt used to tell me this years ago. And so did one of my great aunts. They said, women that didn't wear stockings, they sit in the back row for 20 minutes. I was like, ooh, shut up. I was like, no, y'all didn't say that. Because that's what they told me, my grandmother. I didn't say. Them women that used to come to church with no stockings, they sit in the back row for 20 minutes. And I was like, I'm done.
Why did they sit back there for 20 minutes?
Huh?
Why did they sit back there for 20 minutes?
Now, Miss Unique, you know what I meant, right? Okay. Think about it.
Y'all tell me. I don't
I don't know. I need to know. I need to know too. I'm lost up here. Why they didn't wear stockings? Why they have to sit in the back for 20 minutes?
Why you know what I'm talking about. I see that grin in your face, Negro. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
What that mean? Because you can see their drawers or something, or you can see their legs?
Be quiet, boom. You know exactly. Miss Unique know what I was talking about.
Well, Unique, can't please, because I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm lost. Because you making me feel like now I got stockings when I go to church, and I don't even like stockings.
Well,
right. I thought stockings made you old. I'm like, only older people over like 60, 70 wear stockings. I ain't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was the thing.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say it from my experience. Look, I may not be, all the way right, but
I know now. I know now. Is
okay, but I still ain't caught on.
Is we talking easy access?
Huh?
Is we talking easy access?
Yes.
Because you don't wear stockings.
So stockings, you gotta do too much. Stockings is like putting on pants. So this is what I'm getting, Mslonda. Stockings is like putting on pants, right? So you gotta take them all the way down in order to do something with the stockings on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you got the stockings on, ain't nothing happen. Basically, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, you can't sneak off in the.
Okay,
I get it, dog. I get it.
You can't sneak off in the pastor's office.
Oh, Lord. And so I always just said, no, you are wearing your stockings.
Ooh, I actually I don't wear stockings because I have eczema really bad, so I break out with heat. So, but those were back in the day. That was something. So Mslonda, you don't have to wear. A lot of the traditions have kind of
I don't
died
wear them
off, but that was
because
one of the reasons.
I hate them. They itchy. I hated wearing tights when I was a little girl. And my mom used to, in the wintertime, I had to wear the tights with the long johns on top of the tights, being a pair of socks. I had to go to school in the girls' bathroom, take that mess off. I hated all
Yes.
that.
I get it now,
Now,
man.
you know what my daughter does? She wears her long skirts and she said, I'm not going to hear my mama. And I said, I pass those traditions on, and she'll wear her long skirts before she comes to my church. She's like, you don't know you don't know my mama. She will say, excuse me, you came out of me. I taught you better. So she got her long skirt in her trunk. When she comes to Oceanside and go to church,
Well,
she got this
my
nice
grandmother taught me how to dress for church, so I know how to, you know what I'm saying. When I go to church, I know the proper attire to wear. Because I was taught by my grandmother and my aunt. My grandmother was Christian, my aunt's a Jehovah's Witness, so I got to teach it from both. But yeah, I know what to do when
I learned something new today, though. I'll tell you that because I did not know that. That's dude right there, man. Rest in peace to that lady's daughter, though, man. I definitely want to say that, man. Get that out, man. Rest in peace, man. And we definitely got to get our kids some type of, understanding that they're not obligated to have they're not even obligated to get ketchup on their goddamn French fries. Ketchup is not a necessity. I mean, we don't like fried sandwiches, but mayonnaise is not a necessity. You can get some meat, 2 pieces of bread, and eat that shit. It is not a necessity, man. All these extras, ranch, and all this shit that you get extra, that's extra. It is not a necessity. I'm obligated to give you some bread and some meat. Now, when I give you extra after that, that is not a necessity. Not Nike, Gucci, Jordan, not a necessity. That's what we got to teach our children, man. These shits is not necessity, man. So rest in peace.
Earn it. It's not. You can earn it. You know what I'm saying.
Man.
Once I get,
I'll buy you some $400 shoes. You come in here with 4.0.
You gotta earn it with them grades and doing your chores and being respectful. You don't just get it just because you my kid and the next kid got it, so you gotta have it too. No.
Make me feel good working hard for your $400 shoes.
$400 shoes, please. No.
She said, "No, I don't care. You come here." But honest, huh? You ain't getting.
No. Well, you guys, it is 8:23. Ooh, we have been out here for another 2 hours again.
No.
Wow, I came in late then.
Yeah, we started at
but I'm so happy, Miss Mslonda, for allowing me to come up and just speak. I just wanted to chime in on that a little bit. I really appreciate it.
You gotta get this on your show too, man. I'd definitely love to be a part of your show, man. You gotta get this on
your
show.
You ain't been a part of my show yet.
You ain't sent me no invite. I told you.
You did.
No, you gotta send. I don't know where to find you at. I don't know where to find nobody yet.
I'm on YouTube.
All right, I gotta look you up. What's your YouTube information?
Ask Mama G.
All right,
ASK space MAMAG, and you can see all of my streaming shows.
I'm about to follow you right now.
I don't have a show. I just post videos. But I go live every now and then. On Sundays at 9 a.m., I do a morning inspiration before I go into worship, because I do know there's a lot of people that do not go into the churches anymore due to a lot of stereotypes and judgment. So I do that every morning on Sunday at 9 a.m. But every day I am posting, just videos. So I don't really do this, but I am loving Mslonda, and I'm loving most of the conversations I have caught over here has always led to Christ somehow. And so I'm really blessed by your channel, Mslonda.
I love
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that.
Can you go
and then I got a text in the middle of the show. Boom, you remember the topic that we kind of spoke on a little bit about the man feeding his child in front of the other child?
Yeah, I remember that.
They asked me for a conversation, for a discussion on it, so we're gonna have to put that together. together, I guess.
Yeah, facts, because I'm with that. Because he wrong, but he right. See, so I'll definitely be with that.
Oh, I missed that one. Look,
Yeah,
I love you guys. Wait a minute.
Thank
I'm
you for
old
joining
enough to be everybody's mother, I think. How do you, Boone?
I'm 35.
Oh, Lord, yes, I'm old enough to be your mother. How do you, Miss Unique?
I'm 37.
Oh, yeah, I'm old enough to be your. Oh, that's the old child over there. I think I'm her auntie because I was still playing with Barbie dolls when she was born.
Who?
You.
Who? Me? I'm 50.
You. Yeah, I'm only 66. So I was still playing with my Barbie dolls. I wasn't thinking. So you're my niece.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you guys, thank you for this discussion. I'm gonna go on and end it. You all have a good night. Thank everybody who jumped in the comments. You guys have a good night.
And
Good night.
You talk to me soon?
I will.
Okay, love you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.